Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's been a while since I've seen everyone. Thought I'd come on and we'd catch up with the latest on the laundry case and some stuff that's going on with Lily Peters. I have Darkness Exposed with me.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Bethaeus. Hey, Arctic Fox True Crime. Yes, Roberta should be in jail for
Hello.
accessory after the fact.
She
We'll
absolutely
get into
should.
that little odd letter, too. You would think so, Bethaeus.
Yes, exactly what Bethea said. Isn't that obstruction? It's. I would think it would either be obstruction or hindering hindering a federal investigation. But after thinking about it a lot today, and after watching the WFLA stream, as well as somebody who was boots on the ground, I'm really wondering if they didn't cop a plea with the Laundries. I mean,
Who
you know,
knows?
who knows? Anything's possible with those monsters.
If we can just assume the wildest thing possible, that's probably what it'll
Yeah,
be.
exactly.
Because I mean, this is just like a movie. Burn after reading. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, so give me a second here. I sent you the wrong letter over. Hang on.
I found it.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Well, let's see. No, I didn't. That's the old letter. That's the one from his father.
Oh, gotcha. Let me see here. There. That should be it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the one I just sent you is the topped out version from Fox News.
Okay. That's
Will that work?
the confession letter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the letter from Carson's grandmother?
Let me grab that one. I'll grab that one while we're talking about laundries, if that's okay.
Yes, Arctic Fox. I
I'm
agree.
flying
Can
by
we
the
burn
seat of my
Roberta? Can we burn Roberta after reading? I'm down for that. Yep, me too. In the
Hi,
meantime, while
Isaiah
you're looking,
520.
hey Isaiah, good to see you in here. While we are waiting, we can go ahead and start going over the confession letter if you want to.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Has everybody read the confession letter? I've read it several times. Every time I read
Yeah.
it's the first time it was just like, oh, he is full blown-y. And then after the third or fourth time, and every time since that I read it sounds more and more like someone else wrote it. I just don't believe that it was him, honestly.
If he didn't write it, because if I'm not mistaken, when I remember his handwriting, it was the same type of disjointed handwriting, and so it looked like his handwriting. But as avid of a reader as he was, and knowing what Dirty Birdie has now allegedly done with burn after reading on an envelope, and then a digital confession, and then now maybe a third confession, it makes me think that there's some truth hidden in this, disguised as something else. For example, the violent shaking. Could that be a reference to throttling?
True.
Was this a concocted and contrived letter between Bertolino, Roberta, and Brian? Because I think that Roberta wears the pants a hell of a lot more in that house than Roberta does.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. The letter is all about him. He uses the word pain and the word Gabby 10 times, where he uses the words I and me a combined 60. Wow.
I'd be interested to see what the rest of the notebook said, because you know how he was an avid reader and he liked what was it, the murder mysteries or something? I forget. I looked over it. The weird books.
The Chuck Palahniuk books. Yes, the Chuck Palahniuk. And I was even
dark
looking. Yeah, I was even looking into that to see if there was maybe a storyline that coincided with this in a Chuck Palahniuk book.
Right. Or is there a story that Brian had wrote previously in his notebook of a scenario playing out similar to what happened to Gabby? Like, there's no telling. This story is coming out like a movie, and it's real life, and it's just the wildest thing you can think of is what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So let's go ahead.
What is everybody's okay. Yeah, real quick though. What is your guys' thoughts on why the Laundrie's lawyer released this letter out of the notebook?
Oh.
What was his strategy there?
My gut, jury tampering. Or
okay.
Tainting a jury pool.
Right, because anybody reasonable, this isn't to sway anybody. He knew that this sounded like a bunch of bullshit anyways.
Of course.
Right. Okay, yeah, we can read it. Was you wanting to read it, or?
Yeah, I can. I'll read the first paragraph and then you go on the second.
Gotcha.
Gabby, I wish I was right at your side. I wish I could be talking to you right now. I'd be going through every memory we've made, getting even more excited for the future. I can't live without you. I've lost every day we could have spent together. Every holiday. I'll never get to play with Unintelligible again, which I believe he was referring to his nephews. Never go hiking with TJ. I loved you more than anything. I can't bear to... So, loved you more. So that's past tense. So we can definitely consider then that this was definitely after the fact.
Right.
At least, because I think it was written in more than one session. I don't, it's too disjointed. It doesn't.
Yeah, something's off about it, I think.
Yeah, something's very, very off. I loved you more than anything. I can't bear to look at our photos, to recall great times, because it is why I cannot go on. When I close my eyes, I will think of laying on the roof of the van, falling asleep to the sight of a meteor shower at the Crystal Geyser. I will always love you. If you were reading Gab's journal, looking at the photos from our life together, flipping through old cards, you wouldn't want to live a day without her. Knowing that every day you'll wake without her, you wouldn't want to wake up. I'm sorry to everyone this will affect. Gabby was the love of my life, but I know adored by many. I'm so very sorry to her family because I love them. I'd consider her young... Okay, I'd, so not I would. I mean, I guess it could.
Right.
It could be. I'd consider her younger siblings my best of friends. But to me, that almost sounds like I would have, the way that I read that initially was, well, I would consider them my best of friends, but not anymore.
That's the way I took it too.
Maybe I'm just reading into it a little bit too much, but that was my first instinct. I'm sorry to my family. This is a shock to them as well as a terrible grief. And grief is misspelled, which I'd have to look at his previous writings, because with him being an avid reader, usually readers are pretty good spellers.
See, that's one thing I haven't done, because I've had a headache on and off, is look at I know Fox put out screenshots or copies of the actual written letter. Yes. Was to see if some of this was typos or, if it was him misspelling things, because that's something that caught my eye too.
Yeah. You want to go on the next one?
Yeah. They loved as much, if not more than me, a new daughter to my mother, an aunt to my nephews. Please do not make this harder for them. This occurred as an unexpected tragedy. rushing back to our car, trying to cross the streams of Spread Creek before it got too dark to see, too cold. I hear a splash, a scream. I could barely see. I couldn't find her for a moment. Shouted her name. I found her breathing heavily, gasping my name. She was freezing cold. We had just come from the blazing hot national parks in Utah. The temperature had dropped to freezing, and she was soaking wet. I carried her as far as I could down the stream towards the car, stumbling, exhausted, in shock. When my knees buckled and knew I couldn't safely carry her, I started a fire and spooned her as close to the heat. She was so thin, had already been freezing too long. I couldn't at the time realize that I should have started a fire first, but I wanted her out of the cold back to the car. From where I started the fire, I had no idea how far the car might be. So
it was less than 10 minutes away.
Right.
And she was what, 100 and something pounds soaking wet?
Yeah, she was very tiny. Of course, I know he wasn't a large guy either, but still.
No, but
nobody's buying this. You don't put her down like a horse. We weren't out on a horse trail and your horse broke its leg and you had to put it out its misery. We're people. We can withstand a lot. We need 911. That's what we needed.
Right, and he had cell service because of Red, White, and Bethune. They had filmed where the van was. Brian Enton was out there, and he actually had posted on Twitter. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
Well, and then another thing about the letter and the writing, when you read it, for somebody who is an avid reader and journaling a lot, I would like to know, is this normally how he wrote? Because it doesn't read very well.
It doesn't.
Or maybe he just writes the way he speaks, because some people do that, and maybe I just don't recognize it because I'm a hillbilly. I don't know, but it's just a little off to me.
It does seem off. Let's see. I know it's here. I know it is.
Yay, News Daddy.
I know I put it in our chat. I just need to go back and find it. Hi, Bubba.
Well, yeah, he's trying to get in on the conversation too.
I hear that.
You got big thoughts, honey?
Here we go. Okay. So here was Brian traipsing through the creek. And you can see it's not deep. Ankle deep. I mean, even if it was cold, he could have easily gotten across that.
No doubt. No doubt. That's not even what I would consider a creek. I know it's Spread Creek, and I understand all bodies of water aren't deep, but that's just a little stream. That's nothing. We got mud puddles bigger than that in Kentucky.
Right. Well, Isaiah, that's true. My upset writing versus my professional writing is different. Yeah, mine is too.
The temperature that night, we were talking about it and you told me it was 30s to 40s?
It was, the lows were 30s to 40s. I did not find the, I haven't been able to find yet the record on the water temperatures yet, but I'm sure they're out there.
At any rate, we know that was.
Arctic says, I have potholes deeper than that in my town. Yeah.
Exactly. Your road department sounds about as good as ours then.
Let's see. Okay. Only knew it was across the creek when I pulled Gabby out of the water. She couldn't tell me what hurt. She had a small bump on her forehead that eventually got larger. I'm going to pause there for a second. So we know that there was blunt force trauma. Now, the full autopsy report for Gabby was not released. Brian's was, but not Gabby's. Not the full autopsy.
You're right.
So we don't really know, was Was this blunt force trauma on the back of her head? Was it on the front of her head? Was it on the side? Where was the trauma? Yes, the creek bed is very rocky. Is it very possible for her to have tripped? Sure. Do I buy it? Absolutely not.
No, dude's
Absolutely
just trying
not.
to explain
They
away
were
the injuries they find.
They were avid hikers. They were always out. I mean, look at how they were always up on cliffs, and they were all over the place hiking, and yet
And
he's
I
not
know
going to know
Gabby's
what
not a big
emergency.
girl. Right. And Gabby's not a big girl. So I'm not a big girl either. When we fall, we don't fall that hard. We get back up usually. I don't see her falling in that little creek. Even if she hit her,
Yeah.
I mean, she'd had to hit her head directly on a rock or whatever. He's just trying to explain away stuff because I'm sure she was way tougher than that. I mean, she was fighting him for good Lord,
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And when we take everything else into consideration, so we take into the Moab incident, we take in the Mary Piglets argument. Part of me wonders I've tried to analyze this as many ways as I possibly can, but was she running away from him? Did they get into an argument and he had started to get abusive again and she was running? And maybe is that why maybe she tripped? But do I buy
I'll tell you another
whole...
scenario that ran through my head too. Okay, we remember the Moab, incident with the body cams and stuff. Okay, so in my opinion, it looked like that argument was escalating because he was trying to leave Gabby. Gabby was trying to get her things, trying to get back. She didn't want to be left alone.
Right.
So that's the way I kind of took that. I wonder if he was pulling some shit like that again and, it just escalated.
Yeah. Was he going... Wait, that's a very good point, because
Nobody out there to stop him.
He heard a splash and a scream. Did they get into an, obviously this is purely speculation, but, did they get into an argument? He was storming back to the van. She was racing to try and catch up to him so she wasn't alone.
Right. And we don't even know if they really had an altercation because I don't remember. Well, he was just gone. The cops didn't really get to him, so we don't know if he had injuries or anything like that from, a previous altercation.
Right. Right. Let's see, where did we leave off? Couldn't tell me what was hurt. A small bump on her forehead that eventually got larger. Her feet hurt, her wrist hurt, but she was freezing, shaking violently. While carrying her, she continually made sounds of pain. Lying next to her, she said little, lapsing between violent shakes. That's not the first time he said violent shakes. Gasping in pain, begging for an end to her pain. Was that violent shakes reference to the throttling?
In my opinion, yes.
Mine too. Because that was the first cause of death that we got. Was strangulation and throttling. Then we got blunt force trauma.
And it's trigger warning, but if you read on Google, I Google some crazy stuff. I hope it never has to get put into evidence in court or nothing because they're going to think I'm crazy.
You and me both.
But when you're throttled or strangled like that, for somebody to know the process that the body goes through to die, the rattle and all that, he had to have been there and experienced that, I would think.
Oh yeah. If if there was truly an accident where she was fading and she was, in so much pain and that she was on her way out already, the death signs would have been there. The agonal gasping, the chain stokes rattling, yes, every dying process is different, but strangulation is such a purposeful and, it's not seconds that you can strangle somebody to kill them. It takes several minutes of continual pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, you have to stop oxygen, a lot of blood flow, and it has to be for a long period of time or they'll just pass out and come back.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah
Hey,
says the anger
sunshine.
Hey, sunshine. Did Bubba just say mama?
Yeah, he did. He's saying mama, sissy, hat, dada.
Yeah.
He's starting to find his voice.
Good. Isaiah said the anger he was in, he had severe issues to watch her do that. The shaking, gasping, and ending it. It's not a minute thing. Exactly. It's not a minute thing. Let's see. Where did we leave off? She would fall asleep and I would shake her again. Shake her awake, fearing she shouldn't close her eyes if she had a concussion. She would wake in pain, start the whole painful cycle again, while furious that I was the one waking her. She wouldn't let me try to cross the creek, thought like me that this fire would go out in her sleep and she'd freeze. I don't know the extent of Gabby's injuries, only that she was in extreme pain. I ended her life. I thought it was merciful. Bullshit. That it was what she wanted, but I now see all the mistakes I made. I panicked. I was in shock. But from the moment I decided, took away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her. Yeah, that's I'll let you read the end of it. I've got to run away from the computer real quick, but I will be right back.
Okay. I rushed home to spend any time I had left with my family. I wanted to drive north and let James or TJ kill me, but I wouldn't want them to spend time in jail over my mistake, even though I'm sure they would have liked to. I am ending my life, not because of fear of punishment, but rather because I can't stand to live another day without her. I've lost out I think he meant our whole future together. Every moment we could have cherished. I'm sorry for everyone's loss. Please do not make life harder for my family. They lost a son and a daughter. The most wonderful girl in the world. Gabby, I'm sorry. I have killed myself by this creek in the hopes that animals may tear me apart, that it may make some of her family happy. Please pick up all of my things. Gabby hated people who litter.
Well, he sure left his body out in the reserve.
Yeah, he left trash out there, huh?
And trash, yeah. Yes.
He's
Arctic
a year
Fox
old,
caught
Isaiah.
it too. Arctic Fox got it too. The way he ends it, please pick up my belongings. Gabby hated people who litter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It sure is. Do you want me to go ahead and play News Daddy from last night?
Yeah, get News Daddy on here.
All right.
And this is the one where he's with Petito Schmidt lawyer, correct?
Let's see. This is the one where he goes over the confession, and then let's see. We'll go ahead and do this one first. This is the one with the attorney.
Okay. Yes, Matthias. Just a second, guys.
Uh-oh. No sound on my end?
Yeah, no sound on the video. I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Let me see.
You all can hear us, just not the video, correct?
Well, This is so weird. Let me let me send you this in I'm gonna send this to you in private chat. Are you able to pull it up or no?
Well, the private chat on StreamYard?
Yeah. Are you able to pull up the video?
No.
No.
It won't let me share my screen.
Darn it. I don't know. Because I've got, let's see. Yeah, audio output captures on. I wonder. And naturally, hubby's not home where he can help me figure this out.
He's the magic man, huh?
He is,
you want to
especially. Let me try this real quick. Let's see if. Let's see. Did it change the? Yeah, it changed the layout. Okay, let's try this. See if this works.
What creepy thing? I don't see it.
How can you guys hear sound now?
No.
No, still can't. Darn it.
Coffee. Yes, it's coffee. He's definitely not happy with either of them. Me and him was about to go to Florida and protest for that Laundrie and Petito case for sure. We was going to go track him down, wasn't we, honey?
Oh, goodness. Well, let me just pull up the... I don't know what is going on. You want to just go ahead and pull up... It's either StreamYard or it's Streamlabs. It's one of the two. Because here I had it all working the other day, and then it seems like one live it'll work, and then the next live it'll give me issues. I don't know why. I've got to figure that part out. But in the meantime, let me pull up. Oh, how can we pull this up? Do you want to just pull up articles and read through the articles? Because they quote him.
That would be good.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
I guess where this case is so much like a movie or a story, because stuff's so crazy, it's really something that I want to hear everybody's thoughts on, because that kind of keeps me leveled out from getting caught up in a rabbit hole and going down a conspiracy theory and thinking Brian's still alive in Mexico somewhere, because stuff's getting crazy.
Yeah. So let's see. This article is by Fox 8, but cited to WFLA. So one of the lawyers representing the parents of Gabby Petito, which is Pat Riley, told WFLA yesterday that there's more evidence that they would like to see released from the Laundrie family. The Laundrie family's attorney, Bertolino, released 8 pages of Brian Laundrie's notebook on Friday that included what appeared to be a confession that he killed his fiancée. Pat Riley, the attorney who represents Gabby's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, sent a statement to WFLA after expressing shock that the notebook contents were revealed. He later joined WFLA Now Live, however, questioning why more wasn't released. He said, quote, "I find it ironic that Mr. Bertolino says he was in full transparency releasing this. Well, someone should ask him why he doesn't release the entire notebook. But more importantly, ask him why he doesn't release Roberta Laundrie's letter to her son." Riley claims the letter appears to be written by Brian's mother, Roberta Laundrie, to her son after Gabby was killed. Bertolino has that letter, and Riley doesn't have a copy. Quote, There's some pretty extreme things that she said in there that, without having the letter here to quote it, I don't want to say, but I will simply tell you that there's some pretty extreme things that were contained within the letter. According to Riley, the letter is undated, so it's not entirely clear when it was written. However, Riley claims that it was certainly based on what's contained within the letter. It would appear as though the letter were written after Gabby was killed and before Brian took his life. I will tell you, by the way, that on the envelope that contained the letter, the words, quote, "burn after you read this," were written. Now, a side note, that Bertolino then came out with a laughable excuse, saying that, oh yeah, that was a movie. That was a movie reference that they were referring to.
What was the burn after reading?
Burn after reading. That it was a
bullshit.
movie. Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit. Hey, White Rabbit, so good to see you. I'm a fangirl a little
White
bit.
Rabbit. Good. So glad you guys are here. Let's see. Riley told WFLA the letter is one of the items that was revealed Friday during a meeting between him and Bertolino at the FBI Tampa offices. I don't know if that letter was written before or after he came back to Northport, but the most I want to say is there was an offer to assist Brian with some things in that letter. A loss, and then goes to talk about the lawsuit. A lawsuit filed by Petito's family claims the Laundries knew about Gabby's murder and were planning to help Brian leave the country. Riley has previously alluded to the existence of evidence to back that claim. Quote, "That's not a part of the note to my recollection." According to Riley, the letter was found in the Laundrie family's home, but was taken out of the van that Brian and Gabby had been traveling the country in. I'm led to believe he received that before he came back to Northport, but I don't know that for certain. Bertolino confirmed the existence of the letter. Oh, yeah, here it is. Quote, "I do know it's a movie, and what she wrote on the cover of a letter to Brian many months before the trip had the title of a movie on there."
Huh.
Right.
Yeah. That's not that in none of this I don't remember going on in that movie. So what did they do? That's so weird too. Who does that? Who writes letters like that?
And writes on the envelope,
Burn after reading.
burn after reading. And just the timing coincidence seems like just another red herring by Bertolino.
Mm-hmm.
A second confession. During the exclusive call, Riley also spoke about the confession and explanation of Gabby's death that was released from Brian Laundrie's notebook. That's a version. There's another version. I don't have a copy of the other version yet, but I've been advised there's another version that he authored that we will be getting, hopefully through the Freedom of Information request. That does not entirely match up this particular story. That confession is on a device. JB asked, "Is it a typed out note?" And Pat Riley responded, "To the best of my knowledge, yes." And apparently, in one of the interviews, which I'm sorry that I'm not able to get sound. I don't know why.
Now, Isaiah, you asked about if the letter actually said that Mom would bring a cake with
Yes.
a knife in it. I know when News Daddy was interviewing Court Daddy, Riley, is that his last name?
Yes.
The Petito lawyer, when he was interviewing him last night, the lawyer did say something to that effect that it had in there, but he didn't specify what assistance she offered him.
Right. But there was something about a cake and a knife in a cake. I do remember hearing that.
Yeah, and even if they're trying to say that this was written a long time ago and it wasn't in regards to Gabby and stuff, why would you foresee your son going to prison and needing you to sneak a saw on a cake? Like, why are you even making those references? Right. What's he doing that has you concerned?
Right. And, my mind goes back to, everything that happened. So, not only we talked about the arguments before, that led up to Gabby's death, but let's talk about what happened afterwards. The text messages to her mom, the bogus text messages, the hitchhiking to get seen, the use of her credit card, and then driving back to Northport. I believe he got back on the 1st of September, if my memory serves me right. I believe he got back on the 1st of September, and then they went pretty quickly to Fort DeSoto, and then just had their normal little, family function, and playing on the beach, watching the sunset, while Gabby's family is in a unimaginable panic.
I'll tell you what happened. This is my opinion. Okay. I think that they were prepared to help Brian cover this up or get him out of the country. They were going to do something with him. They were helping him. He was taking steps to cover it up anyways. He didn't go into this thinking, oh man, I killed Gabby, now I'm going to kill myself. That was his last resort because he's a coward.
Yes.
What I think happened is he came back home. The trip was supposed to be the goodbye to his family before he left on his long vacation out of the country. And I think something happened to throw him off, whether it was social media coming out and TikTokers. We seen Brian, we did this, we seen this, or whether it was red, white, and Bethune. Is that how you say it? Or butane?
Yeah, Bethune.
However it is, Bethune. So then when they caught that, and then that's how Gabby was located, something threw a wrench in their original plan, and they couldn't get the plan back together, and then Brian took off and killed himself, is what I think.
Mm-hmm. And
I think the camp was a goodbye.
Yeah, I definitely think that camp was a goodbye type of thing. Mm-hmm. Definitely. But I mean, the fact of, how even Cassie came out and she was like, even she didn't know anything. Did she really not know anything? Did they really not speak of it at all at Fort DeSoto? Or was this something?
I'm going to tell y'all something.
Go ahead.
We all have family. Mm-hmm. There's no way she didn't know that something was not up. These people, they live around them. They know if Brian comes back without Gabby, if it's odd or not, if something's off. Now, she may not have known exactly what happened, and I don't think she doesn't strike me as heartless as the Laundries did about the situation. And I think she did care and feel bad about it, and I think it's affected her in that way. Mm-hmm. But she knew something was off when they went.
Of course she did. Of course she did. She had to have. The van being back and Gabby not being there. Even if he said, that they broke up and that she went home, she would have known that story was BS by then, because they were already trying. I need to.
The parents were calling.
Yeah. And that they were ignoring. I think, and Pat Riley even alluded to this. I think Bertolino and the Laundries knew in August, either when he was on his way home, before he started back home, to contrive the, what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never been in a panic of that magnitude before, but just thinking of my own issues with anxiety and with panic, and thinking, okay, yeah, your mind scrambles. When you go into a panic, you're like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
See, I see Brian in that panic, but I view Roberta as being, I know we're moms. Think about this. You're a mother, mm-hmm. Your kid is in this situation, and in her mind, I'm sure it was, they're going to kill him. So I've got to get him out of this. When you go into that panic mode as a mother, I don't know how you are, but everything is almost like slow motion, and I am like a apex predator. Like you are on your game, So I really feel like she's the one responsible for everything leading up to when they lost track of Brian.
Oh, I do too. One thing that I would love to see, and I don't know if we'll ever get it, maybe with a FOIA request we will. I doubt it though. is that that hidden camera footage that was next door.
Yes.
Because
I'd forgot all about that.
I didn't see the entire Peacock documentary, but I do remember that little blurb coming out. And I think even News Daddy had it on his recap on News Nation too. That it was either on News Daddy or it was News Daddy that was on the Peacock documentary. I can't remember, but yeah, there's so much, and oh darn, I wish I could.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this all correctly. Okay, so there's the notebook. That's a confession. There's a confession on a device. There is also this burn after reading letter from Roberta. Is that the 3 confessions?
That I don't know.
Or was there one that we're missing? I didn't know if they were counting her letter in with the bundling those in and calling it there's the 3, since we don't know what her letter says.
Let me see. Let's see if they're saying anything about it on, if Brian's saying anything.
Yeah, Isaiah, I'm an overthinker too.
Oh,
anxiety really motivates me to do that.
I'm an overthinker and self-deprecator. I will get into, and I think True Crime and Coffee, you and I have bonded over that. The fact that, we go through self-deprecating thoughts and just, of how just beating ourselves up for every little mistake that we've possibly ever made in our lives. And that cycle of thought just rolling around and rolling around and rolling around.
Yeah, and it's hard to break that, to snap yourself out of it and find your motivation. I mean, I know people can realize I don't come live like I should. I don't upload content like I should, but sometimes my anxiety just overrules everything else.
Yep. So here, Isaiah, you were asking about this. So he says there's an offer from Roberta to assist her son. Quote, if you go to jail, I'll bake a cake and put a saw in it. So there it is.
I really wish we knew what that letter said.
I know. Me too.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, has he told her previously, like, God, I'm going to kill Gabby? Or, does she know that he hates this girl so much, or that things are so violent in between the two that he's going to be a murderer? Like, why would you even have to mention that? Or maybe there was more than just the domestic violence issue that we've seen in Moab. Maybe it happened somewhere else where she was aware of, but the cops didn't file any charges and it's never came to light. Maybe she knows about the violence.
Right. It wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. Does she know that most have metal detectors? Wouldn't have made it. So why even say that? Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Maybe it is a story, because that doesn't seem like a very, she has to be smarter than that.
I mean, trust me.
Can't sneak nothing in the jail.
Prisoners get enough razor blades and they make shanks out of enough stuff. But so they don't need a saw and a cake. They hide their own shanks. In the women's prison, what they would do is they would take the razors, that to shave, and usually the guards weren't paying very much attention, and you would return that razor and drop it in the sharps container. Well, any guard that I had seen, I never did it because I didn't want to get caught with anything, but they would take their boot and they would stomp on the razor, and they would take the razor blade out. They would keep the razor blade, and then they would they would hide the broken top of the razor head, and when they dropped it into the sharps container, the guard never knew.
Sneaky.
So that's
I couldn't survive in jail and prison, none of it. I'm not sneaky enough.
I think I was too scared to be sneaky. I mean, even though it was just a year and it was a relatively calm compound, it's still, when things started getting loud or a ruckus, it scared the dickens out of me.
I would say I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Oh, that I did with earplugs. That was the only way I was able to sleep.
Well, I've only had to go to county for a day, and it was hours. So I don't know. I just know that it wasn't fun. I don't plan to return, and yeah.
Yes.
And I needed more than a saw to get out.
Right. And when we do the Bethea and I are going to do the Justin Ross Harris stream together. I'm going to have to give my mouth a rest after this live, but I'll tell you guys about Cobb County Detention Center and where Justin Ross Harris was up until he went to prison.
Yeah, over on Bethea Spot's channel, he's been covering a little on that, and
yes,
that is some craziness.
I jumped on the tail end of his live, and we were talking about it. I was actually, I was in that county just for a short period after my sentencing, when I was waiting on being transported to state myself. I saw him in transport. We were in the same county jail, same exact time. Obviously, we were nowhere close to each other where we could have spoken, but I saw him. I heard them call his name. And just seeing his demeanor and how in the courtroom he looked all somber and remorseful and this, that. Not when he left that jail, he didn't.
So the case is new to me. You mentioned it to me, and then I seen Bethea's live the other day, and then I caught some of his live today on it. So I know a little bit about it. Is my understanding correct that this guy took off with his kid in the car seat to work, forgot to drop his kid at daycare, supposedly, went into work, and his kid died out in the hot car?
Oh, it's more twisted than that.
I know I read some stuff about inappropriate behavior or something. Did he have some kind of SA charges?
No, they never actually filed SA charges. But
was he accused?
It was his no, because it was all done online and prostitute, and he would hire sex workers, and so I mean he had affairs that his ex didn't find out about until all of this, and they were investigating her too. But so he left. That's another one that they actually lived closer to where I live now compared to where the vehicle was. Where Home Depot is Marietta, Smyrna, as you're going down into Atlanta. And the Home Depot corporate headquarters is where he worked. Well, he went to Chick-fil-A, got breakfast, passed daycare, had to make a U-turn in order to turn into Home Depot, because I double checked with my mom, who was really, really following the case. Flipped a U-turn to even get into the parking lot of the Home Depot corporate, went into work, sexted with a 16-year-old. He had previously been, they found digital evidence of him posting on the child-free subreddit, and did all these Google searches. There was so much incriminating evidence. But that was the motive that they used for malice murder. That's where I think that the only thing I will agree with his wife is ex-wife is the fact that Cobb County is overreaching. It's very, very true. They would charge their mother and sentence them to Lord knows how long.
Right.
Cobb County is hard. Cobb County does not mess around. So was it overreaching? Probably, but there's a new DA now. And I think she'll go balls against the wall, and she'll yes, he was talking to an underage girl too. Yep. And
so there must have not been any photos or anything if he wasn't charged, correct?
Oh no, there were photos.
They were photos in Kentucky. That would get him in jail for
not photo. I don't think there were photos of her, but there were photos of him.
Mm-hmm. See, I see when the 24-year-old reached out to my daughter when she was 12 on Facebook and told her that he was raring and ready to go for something, and used the word that I'm not even going to repeat because it's nasty. And anyways, he let her know how he was feeling at the moment, used a really rude word to my daughter. And the cops, when they took her phone, when we reported him, when they took her phone and got everything off, because he wouldn't leave her alone, you know, he would make new accounts every time we blocked him, get on her TikTok. It was just crazy. But so they get her phone and they send it in, and they take everything, all the info off of it, and they break down their conversations, and they can see that he's harassing her, but they can't charge him with anything because he didn't send a picture or ask for a picture. It was just words.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. But that's how they got, or that's what they used to get it overturned, is because they really emphasized the sexting and all of the interaction with the affairs, and like Arctic said, the interaction with the underage girl. They really pushed that during the trial. And so he still won't go anywhere. I mean, he was convicted. He was sentenced to 30 plus, life plus 32. So mandatory minimum in Georgia is 30. So he was looking at least 62 years and I don't think he wouldn't last that long.
Yeah, he doesn't look like the picture of health.
No. Yes, Isaiah, we do need to show parents about these apps. Kick is a big one for child predators. I have a few flyers. Let me.
Amen, Bethea.
I just moved everything around on my hard drive, so I got to find it. So give me a second.
That's what it would be in Kentucky, Arctic Fox. I know pictures was the only thing missing that saved OD that was reaching out to my daughter.
Wow.
Yes, parents do need to learn about these apps because there's new ones coming through all the time. There was a couple I didn't even know about, like Omegle. That doesn't even sound like anything real to me. I thought it was like a pet trader app or something. I didn't know.
Disgusting. Oh, Omegle is one of the most disgusting out there.
I know. And I didn't even know it existed until all that happened with my daughter, where I got my eyes open.
Majority of these I didn't even know existed. Adam for Adam, Badoo, Chat Roulette. Oh, Chat Roulette. That's another one that's just like Omegle.
I see. I've never heard of that one.
Grindr, Hot or Not, Holla, House Party, Instagram, Kick. Like I said, Kick is a big one, really used in trafficking. Live.me, Meet.me. Here's Omegle. Pal Talk, Scout, Telegram, TikTok, Tinder, Tumblr, WhatsApp, Whisper. I believe Whisper was one that Justin Ross Harris used, if I'm not mistaken. Wishbone, Yubo, Discord, and the gaming apps. You know, the Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox.
Wow. Yeah.
And then
Roblox and TikTok is what Aubrey's down to.
Yeah.
And that's enough to scare me.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot to keep up with.
You have to be careful about the, just looking at the actual icon of what it says. You got to hit that icon because a lot of times they're hidden under calculator apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Isaiah just mentioned Snapchat.
Or alarms.
So
Snapchat.
When I caught, when I caught Aubrey on all the, I had to redo everything around here with our parenting. She had to have some new rules, but yeah, when I said no Snapchat, we were looking through her phone and I clicked on TikTok and Snapchat came up. So there is apps where they can choose the icons.
I'm sorry.
Yes, she thought she was smart. Oh.
I just read his
lock him up with you. Oh.
The Crumbly Kid. You did the Crumbly Kid.
Who is that?
Ethan Crumbly? That's the Oxford shooter. What you talking about?
That's what I was thinking. I think up here where Isaiah, you would say a prayer for a child shot in a car in Chicago. Definitely say a prayer for them. Another one that I've seen, my daughter brought to my attention. I pulled up my TikTok and she sent me a TikTok, and it was a lady, Alabama, and they're looking for her son's murderer. Give me a second. I'm going to put her name in chat so that you guys can go check it out because, this poor mother, she is so sad. I think it's Shoe Lover 66, but I'll find it and put it in chat.
I still have the link. Hang on. Let me, I can get the TikTok link that you sent me.
Oh.
I still need to post it.
So in regards to the laundries and stuff, when are we thinking that Roberta's letter, that's probably not going to be out till after September, right?
Oh, easy. I doubt. Well,
unless that lawyer lets it out, because like he did we don't know what he's going to do.
Elizabeth Crumbly's daughter. Yes. Okay. Now, yeah. Haley. I know who you're talking about. Yep, I do.
I do too, Arctic Fox. It's crazy. It is so crazy. I watched some, I think it was actually you or Checking Convictions, Joe, where you do the alert and parent stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that these kids can do that we don't think of. They're worse than cheating husbands, hiding stuff.
Sure. Absolutely. One thing that that I've downloaded, and I just happened to see it right here, is the Life 360 sex offender search. It's an app on, I know it's on Android. I'm assuming it's on Apple too, but it was very helpful. Very, very helpful to see what's around you. And just
right. Does it alert you when someone moves into the neighborhood?
Yes. If you have alert sets, you can customize your alerts, and then let's see. What to do when a child predator contacts your child. Document everything, report it, and then follow law enforcement's instructions. But that's something we... Offender Watch is another one too.
What's that one? Is it the same thing, basically?
Same thing. Same thing. Sex offenders. Yep.
See, I always go on Google my address, but that looks much easier. Just an app. I didn't know they really had that.
Yeah, they've come out with some real good resources. But that's, that's one thing that I really want to emphasize, on anything I do, is to make sure that people know that these resources are out there and that people need to educate themselves.
Yeah, I thought that I knew everything I needed to know to make sure a teenager was safe, but I didn't. Things are ever changing anymore. It's not the same world that we grew up in. Social media has changed everything. Technology has changed everything for our children and for us parents.
In a good way and in a bad way. There's so much to learn now online compared to when we were growing up. I've been able to teach my son so much editing, and we've been able to bond over trying to figure out how to create different things. And we just haven't been he hasn't been completely happy with them to where he wants me to put them up yet. He's still practicing. But
right.
I would have never known any of this kind of stuff if it hadn't have been for social media and YouTube and people posting tutorials and tips and and then I got down rabbit holes for child predators and for the missing and for fugitives and just how many are really out there, and then crimes against children. There's a case about 20 minutes away from me that the mother was arrested for attempting to stab her children, doused them with gasoline, set them on fire, and then went in the backyard.
Yeah, people are going crazy.
3 out of the 7, there were 7 children in the house. 3 out of the 7 have now died. A couple had to jump out of the second-story window.
Oh my gosh.
So
I didn't read the full article that you had sent. That's I don't understand it.
I don't either. I didn't expect it to be nearly that bad when I saw it come over as breaking news this morning. I thought, oh my God, it's a horrible tragedy, but maybe they were arresting the mother because of neglect or something like that. That was, I was trying to give as much benefit of the doubt until I saw a neighbor's Facebook post. And then I saw, my mom actually had called me and said they just, the third child just died, and that they've charged her now with 2 counts of malice murder, and I personally expect another one. Wow. And this is in my county. This is in Paulding County. And it's
in your neighborhood.
Thankfully not in my neighborhood.
It's so close, it probably gives you chills. Like
it does. It does. Because Rockmart, which is where it happened, is even smaller of a town than what I'm in. They all kind of run together. They're all separated by just Georgia back roads and pig trails. And just 20 minutes north from me, northwest, toward closer to the Alabama border, but just a little over 20 minutes away. And 3 kids were murdered. 7 kids were attempted to be murdered. It's scary. It's a scary world that we live in.
Yeah, it is. And it's getting even more terrifying with the Roe versus Wade debates that's going on and the stuff that's happening in the Supreme Court now. Because not only do we have these parents, these women having children who don't need children because they're going so crazy, they're killing them and stuff. Now they're wanting to take away options and just, pop them out, honey. CPS is already overstrained. I won't get on that one because, I'll
I know that
stop,
can,
so.
Yeah, that'll get me on a soapbox too. Yes, as Isaiah said, and we were actually talking about one too, that's in Jacksonville. Check on your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors. You know, are they okay? Do they seem frazzled? Do they seem stressed? You know, pull them aside, let them know, hey, you've got me as in shoulder to cry on, or an ear to chew out, or, you know, to vent to. People need to know that other people are there for them, because
Yeah,
I
and we
think
got to be more nosy too.
yeah, we do. But Isaiah said that they found a man dead in his house. No one had checked on him for a week after he was last seen. Well, there was that one, Isaiah, in Jacksonville, where the house was actually auctioned off, and the person who won the auction went into the house and found the body of the owner of that house.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They auctioned it off, so they were realtors there and didn't even know that there was a person passed in there.
I think I don't know how real estate auctions work down there, but Tallahassee. Yes, Tallahassee. Sorry.
Wow.
Hang on
So
just
crazy.
1 second.
Okay, you're good. Well, now that we've got past the laundry stuff, another thing that I wanted to touch on, there's some
Is Lily
updates.
Peters.
Yeah, there's some updates with Lily Peters on Carson. He went to court yesterday and today, I think.
Did he go today too?
I don't know. It might have just been yesterday. I don't know.
I think
I've read
it was
so
yesterday,
much today.
and then it was uploaded today.
Uploaded, okay. But I'm trying. I forgot about the letter to Grandma. Hang on, I'll get it real quick here. The thing that interested me that I was reading about was that Grandma, and as far as I can understand, I hate to get it wrong, but from what I can understand, it was the paternal grandmother, has requested from the judge. She wrote a letter, and in this letter, you know, let me find it. I don't want to misspeak something. It's just so much. Let's see. Carson P.
Oh, I didn't realize this. Even the attorney brought up a YouTube video. Lawyer brings up concerns over YouTube video.
Yeah, so I have tried to track down the video. I have went and kind of, you know, you have heard of the video? I haven't. I don't know if I'm looking at the right one. Do you know Mr. Black on YouTube?
Yes.
I think it's the Disturbed something. Is it that video?
Disturbing Truth.
Is it the video he done on it that they were talking about?
I believe
so yeah, why are they what's about that? Because I didn't hear anything in there that,
you know, that's posted also on the Law and Crime Network. And Law and Crime Network is very credible. You know, the video airs what sounds like audio from a police officer, something that has not been made public. Okay, if it's the video I'm thinking about, then it's the video of the radio traffic. And that's where it starts with the police officer, and then later on you continue to hear the police officer, and then you hear Lily's mom scream.
That's down. I heard the scream, but my hearing's not that good. I didn't listen closely enough, I guess, for all the rest of it. But I didn't know that was her mother screaming. I know it was rumored that. I didn't know that it was until I watched the video today.
Yeah. I still have all my videos, or even the clips and everything from when we initially covered Lily. I still have all the clips downloaded. So once we get the audio and everything on the screen share figured out, I might have to restart the computer. That has been a problem before. So we'll make sure to test that out next time.
Right. Hopefully, I'll be able to screen share soon.
Yes.
My Chromebook died on me. It went off and wouldn't come back on, so I hate when I've just read. I've got so much in my stuff that I've been through today. I'm going through a pile here trying to figure out where the grandmother's letter is, because that was the most interesting thing to me, is where she's telling him how great of a boy he is and how he has no behavioral issues. I mean, she talks about him like a grade A child. He is perfect, and that he needed to be tried as a juvenile. That caught my eye, because if he's tried as a juvenile, there's no sentencing for juvenile in juvenile court. So Lily's never going to get justice if they do that. So, well, I know I didn't imagine it. I've got a good imagination, but I didn't imagine that letter, surely to goodness. Grandma.
I'm going to have to hop off, my love. You okay? And then I'll
Absolutely.
be in
Yeah,
chat.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for coming up.
Oh, thank you for having me. And we will get this figured out with screen share and everything next time.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Love you all. Bye.
So I'm not finding the PDF with the letter on it right off. I had it over in my stuff. I just don't know which screenshot it is, but I'll make a video and post it later with all the exact details in it. But basically, the grandmother talks about how kind and caring Carson is, and how she hopes that the court can just consider, because of his age, to send him to juvenile courts so that he can get the help that he needs. Because monsters like him can be recovered, I guess. They do recover, is what we'll hear next. I don't know. But anyways, that's what the grandmother is requesting, and that really caught my eye in that. I'm still trying to understand exactly what they're trying to accomplish with saying this video's out. I guess a mistrial or something of that nature. Who knows? But I'll put a video out on that later. So aside from the Laundries in the Peters case, there's also some stuff that I had planned on going live about last week with Miss Cynthia, but I got stressed out and anxiety took the best of me, so I didn't. But I just want to touch on it before I get off here. Have you guys seen this Megan Walsh, John Walsh stuff where he took her baby? CPS came and took her baby wrongfully, supposedly, and all the allegations that she's making towards her father. Hey, Avery, how are you, hon? Yeah, I know, Arctic. That's what I was thinking, too. I looked for the video and finally found it, and I didn't see anything that I hadn't seen before or anything, so I don't know. Can somebody drop Sunshine's link, and you guys can go over and check that video out on the Lily Peters case. I'm good, Avery. I hope everything's going okay for you. I hope Turtle Boy is being good today and leaving you alone this weekend. I try not to dabble too much in the trauma, but it's really hard when someone who is trying to label themselves true crime is using their platform to bully children. It disgusts me. It makes me, I can't even bring into words, guys. I don't know if you all are aware of this, and Avery, I hope you don't mind me mentioning it. If you guys go over to Avery's channel, she has some videos on it, but we have a adult who is a creator here on YouTube, calls himself True Crime, and he thinks it's a good idea to bully children. Yeah. So, and oh, he did get served papers. I hope it does make him quit talking, because I'm going to tell you what, I thought I was going to blow a gasket the other night. It makes me so frustrated to see adults act like that. It just kills me, you know, as far as darkness. Well, see, it's always something. We'll blame it on StreamYard anyways. It's StreamYard's fault, baby. No, but in regards to what I was talking about your son, Avery, sorry. No, but what I was saying, it got a little out of hand, so I hope he does stop. And I'm very proud of you for standing up for your baby like that and taking it, because that's what it's going to happen. It'll take to stop it, is for somebody to put him in his place and hold him accountable. Thank you, Arctic. Yeah, I'm trying to be skeptical too, because number one, it's John Walsh. If you're going to come at the public about John Walsh, someone that's done the things that he has done, I'm going to have to see some truth, some proof of it, big time, because it just blows my mind. You know, the stuff she's saying, it all sounds like, you know, she's really giving you the details and stuff, and it sounds truthful, I guess. But then when you realize she's talking about John Walsh, and then you realize that CPS has all her kids and they just came and got a new baby, it makes you wonder, you know, what's really up here, because I can't really say that, you know, I'm not victim shaming here. Maybe she is a victim of something, but like I said, I'm not victim shaming. I can't jump on board and believe it. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't push forward with the live and just decided to do this one today when I could get through and do a live, because I'm not ready to speak on it yet. Totally. I don't have really anything to say, but she's came out with a lot of allegations and not enough proof to satisfy it. And all I see is a woman making a lot of accusations who CPS has took all of her children. And then we have John Walsh, and we all know the great things he has done. So, I mean, yeah, she's going to have to come out with more proof. Yes, I'm sure Avery, yeah, Jaden has to be proud of his mama. And another thing that bugged me about that, I thought it was so sweet that he was fundraising for his beach trip and stuff. I mean, you know, that makes a child feel good. They're doing something about life. They're accomplishing things. You know, that gives him a goal for the summer, something to look forward to. That's great. That's what kids are supposed to do. But because your son was bullied, a grown-up ruined that for him, and that made me crazy mad. I really wish you would put a fundraiser back up for him and let people who want to, let them donate. Let them send that baby somewhere on vacation. And don't worry about Turtle Boy over there, because, you know, we really don't care about him and his COVID soap. That's a good question. I've never seen anything in regards to John Walsh being racist. Has anyone else? I mean, but that's really not something, I guess I haven't really looked into his personal character, because he's always been such a big public face. You know, we know he helps with the missing and finding manhunts and things of that nature, and covers criminal stuff. But I guess I've never really dug in on him personally. So I have a little bit after seeing her allegations, and I do believe that him and Reeve was on some coke. I believe they had a coke problem back in the day. I do believe that she had a live-in boyfriend, and I do believe Adam thought he had two daddies. But that's just because of everything that I've read, and nothing really contradicts that to me. So I think that they probably had some stuff going on back in the day, but I can't find anything recently about them that's founded. Yeah, if anybody was going to get away with it, he would know how. He would know how to. I hate to even say that she's accusing him of trafficking, but that's kind of what she's accusing him of doing, is trafficking children. Is that's exactly what it is, and other things. But yeah, that's a lot to come out with. And if she's telling the truth, then we're probably looking at another Epstein situation or something. I don't know, but it blew my mind. Blew my mind. Yeah, see, I've never seen anything about him being racist, but who knows? Who knows? It takes all kinds. I guess we really don't know their thoughts on that until something comes out. And with it being John Walsh, I'm sure even the bad stuff that the man's done in his life, and then we all have done bad things, but even the bad stuff, is probably hard for people to believe because he is such a well respected man. He's done great things for children, in my opinion. Yeah, and he's passionate against it, and I mean, we've seen him on TV, and especially I think in his later years now, when he's fired up, you can tell it. He can't hide it. It comes through an interview. He will cut whoever's interviewing him off. Like we seen him on Banfield and stuff. Well, I'm glad to see people still in here. You all are so sweet. What happened is all my devices died for a second. It took me a minute to find chargers because that's my life, and I lose chargers a lot. Take me just a second. I'm trying to figure out how to see screen share. So also, I know I put in chat and mentioned it earlier on TikTok. There was a lady that was brought to my attention, and I dropped her link in chat, but I didn't put her name on there. Ophelia is her name, and hang on, and I'll put this back in chat again. And there's the TikTok video. If you go to that link, it'll play her video. And from what I understand, she's from Alabama, and her son was murdered yesterday. He was shot, and they are looking. She's begging for help. They're trying to figure out who done it. So if you're in Southern Alabama and you know anything about it, I would go over and give her video a look because, like I said, she's asking for help from the area. Avery, I know you're in Alabama. I don't know where you're at in Alabama, honey, but you may take a look at that. I don't know if you've even heard about it. I wish I could screen share and show it to you all. It's heartbreaking. Okay, guys. Well, I'm continuing to look for that letter. I do not know where I put it at. And I can't share the video of the judge here, so I can't really go any further on the Peters case. Like I said, I'm not ready to touch on John Walsh yet. Me and Cynthia was going to go in for it, but I want to make sure that this lady ain't some crackpot, and I don't want to spread any misinformation about the NMEC because they do a lot of great stuff. But I'm going to hop off here for the night and go spend some time with a family. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I hope to see Arctic, Avery, Darkness, Bethea, Sunshine, one of you all live tonight. You all always have great chats, but I love you guys, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon. And thanks for coming and chatting. Bye.